Hey, it's Tim and Amy with GoWithLess. Welcome back to day 2 of our 16 grocery store shopping tips. So we just got back from the gym, so obviously we're dressed a little differently today than usual, so apologize for the uber casual attire. On our way home from the gym, we stopped by the grocery store, so we thought it'd just be a great idea to go ahead and put our video together now.
We're so excited to share our tips.
So excited. And so yesterday we covered 3 items. Today we're going to spend about 5 minutes covering a few more. Hopefully we'll get through more than 3 today. But I wanted to start out with...
Actually, before you start out, just a heads up. I'm going to put a link to yesterday's video in the comments. And we're going to be breaking this into, it looks like probably 3 or 4 posts. So please make sure to hit the subscribe button just below the video so that you get heads up about parts 3 and 4 because we have a lot of good tips coming your way.
Perfect. And so, yeah, please subscribe below. And I guess tip number 1 for today, or tip number 4 as the case may be, would be, so make sure that you use the ingredients that you buy. So I think there's a lot of, including us, so there are times when we actually waste ingredients and there's nothing more frustrating than throwing something away. So we bought some strawberries in our last round of fruits and vegetable purchases. They sat around too long and we actually had to throw them out. So when you do purchase ingredients, make sure that you have a plan to use them. Otherwise, there's a decent chance that they go bad and you end up throwing them out. So it's really important to use the ingredients that you buy. That's one way to save money. Also, it helps knowing the weight ingredients you have so that you can resist that temptation to go through the drive-thru or something like that as you're on your way back from your outing. So be sure and use the ingredients that you actually purchase.
So resist the urge to go through the drive-thru for that immediate satisfaction if you're going home and you're almost near home. So so it's having a good deal on groceries doesn't help at all if you end up throwing away those groceries.
That's exactly right.
So okay, and with that, I'm going to talk about we go grocery shopping at least twice a week. I mean, we pretty much do twice a week grocery shopping, and that's so that our produce and things and our meat, it doesn't go bad. So so if you only have time to go once a week, that's better than no times a week, but the 2 times a week works for us. So we find that we can we buy what's on sale. We've already talked about this in the last one, so we're buying what's on sale, bringing all that home. For me, it was too overwhelming to do a whole week of meal planning. That was more overwhelming than I could do. So just doing it in like 3-day, 4-day, that worked for me. Also, if events come up, and so if you had dinner planned for 7 nights, even though most of our dining is done at home, we still have parties and events, and some of those happen at shorter notice. So if we grocery shop twice a week, then we find that we have less food waste because number 1, it doesn't have as much time to go bad, and number 2, that we know exactly what meals we're preparing for if it's only like 3 days in advance. 7 days in advance, our schedule might throw in an event that we're going to have extra food if we don't cook at home.
That's right. So this is our 6th or the 5th?
Now you're on number 6.
Number 6. So our 6th tip would be, so if you do shop at warehouse places like Sam's or Costco, be aware that the prices that they have there aren't always the best. As a matter of fact, oftentimes for things like canned vegetables and things like that, grocery stores, when they have stuff on sale, it's going to be cheaper than the day-to-day price at Costco or Sam's. So there are a handful of things that we do like to buy. We currently don't have a membership to either. However, there's actually an interesting trick you can use with Costco in that if you have a friend who does have a membership, they can buy you a Costco gift card and you can go in and use that gift card, which we have done on occasion with Costco. And the reason we don't have a membership anymore is there's very few things that we do find there that are discounted enough that it makes sense to have the membership. So we probably spend $100 a quarter at the most. Oh,
that's at the most. We spend like $200 a year on Costco, and so I feel a little bad mooching off of a friend for Costco. But when we're only spending $200 a year, it didn't make sense to pay for that membership. And we would be fine buying a membership if the ingredients were cheaper at Costco. We would be fine buying the membership. We did not. The produce seems to be very expensive. So they're canned, like a lot of things. So we don't buy a ton of canned vegetables. We do buy, except for canned tomatoes. We go through canned and diced tomato sauce, diced tomatoes like nobody's business.
And we can find those cheaper at the grocery store when
they're on sale. When grocery stores do sales, they tend to be better pricing.
But so I guess the net of that tip is don't assume that the prices at the warehouse places are better, because often they aren't.
And then you have to pay for a membership. We're going to wrap it up today with the final tip, which is number 7, and that is be flexible. So when you bring home all this stuff, so maybe you found a recipe for chicken and asparagus that sounded good, but you have broccoli or green beans or something like that, peppers. just make a swap. Or maybe you did have a recipe in mind and you go to the grocery store with that shopping list in mind, and you had the chicken and asparagus recipe ingredients on your list, and asparagus can be very expensive, so maybe it's $3.50 a pound. That's a really bad deal on asparagus. And so, but maybe green beans are 99 cents a pound. So the fact that you're knowing, one of the tips from the last post is kind of know where the pricing is. So just make swaps. So maybe you can make a swap with meat. So we do this all the time. So that makes us really flexible to use recipes for the ingredients that we have, and so that we're not needing just to stick to the asparagus at $3.50 a pound. We can go with, we're pretty flexible eaters, which makes it real easy.
And I'm going to add a little bit to this. And so before I met Amy and I was cooking on my own, I would have a recipe and I would go to the store and buy those explicit ingredients to make this recipe.
It's very expensive.
And so that's a very expensive way to shop. So going to the store with a recipe and just buying the ingredients that happen to be there, that happen to line up with the recipe, is not a good way to shop.
Yeah,
So-
but if you do that, also take note of what is in your house so that you're not buying double. So if you're buying specialty ingredients, like green beans is no big deal. But if you're buying specialty like Asian ingredients, we just made something with mirin this week. Well, if I don't need 2 mirins in my life, that's going to last for a long time for us. So check and make sure that you have those specialty ingredients that might be expensive. So so we're going to wrap it up there with that was tip number 7. It is. So this might be a really long week of grocery posts, but we still have more good stuff coming. So please, again, subscribe in the comments below, and we will see you tomorrow. We
Thanks for
welcome your
joining us.
comments as well. So please ask any questions or comments down below, and we will get to those in one of our videos.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thanks.